Introduction into Part 2 for Zero Poverty on Guam, Consciousness into Action on Fanachu. This is Tori Manley speaking with our precious and beloved guest, Jenelyn Abinales. Jenelyn Abinales is an organizer, a serial social entrepreneur, got that right, and a cannabis advocate. Here we will learn more about the cannabis industry, cannabis uses, decolonizing our mindset on cannabis, and I invite you to ask the question that we had on our first part of this episode. What would an island of financial possibility look like after a decolonized and demilitarized Guam? And now I share with you Jenelyn Abinales.
Yes.
100% intentional. I mean, it's called root work. So we're all, yes, but not even just that, right? Just in trees in general, root work is like doing what needs to be done on the foundational level, on the deeper level of what we're experiencing as people in general, right? As like humans. And then just the divine and divinity of that. Like, it's really rare for us to, how do I say this? You're rare, right? You're your own person. You could, I think, man, the ratio of being a human is like 1 to like 4 trillion or something. And just that alone is like, do you not realize like how important, like why we're, at this level of, and then we're tying into ancestral wisdom too, right? Like where we come from, like even for me as like a second generation immigrant, right? Filipino immigrant, and just seeing how much we have sacrificed and built resilience towards like from oppression, really. So just doing that in general, and that, immigrants and indigenous communities, cultural or colored communities are, very important. So, and we all experience like similar things, right? In like so much where we have to backtrack into what is important to us, our communities, and what we're building for each other for each generation after. Don't cry.
Let me cry.
You can cry. There's tissues.
Thank you. Like, this is so beautiful, and please introduce yourself.
My name is Jenelyn Abinales. I'm the current president of the Homegrown Collective, Guam, which is a cannabis advocacy group. I also want to become or am becoming a serial social entrepreneur. So
Please define that term for us right now.
a serial social entrepreneur. So a serial entrepreneur, right, is someone that owns multiple businesses. A social entrepreneur is really someone who's using that business for community-based needs and organizations. So that's what that is. So, I want to do both. I want all the businesses to be able to support some social, economic thing. And because, businesses can do that, right? So why not? And so we're not like that. And we're just all trying to get back to the roots. So I think it both is a combination of, what does Miss Juanita say? It's the 3. You only know this if you go to Island Girl Power for the first time, and she will gift you something.
Please find out at Island Girl Power, found at Kurasang Isang Song, Guam.
Yes. Oh shoot. Sorry. So there's 3 things she'll open something up, 3 things that she says there's 3 things that you need in your life, or what life is almost kind of like created as or of, and that's like doing stuff for people, doing stuff for yourself, and doing stuff for something you love, I believe. So those things are really, really important. I just wanted to share that because, she's such a sweet lady. Well, root work isn't open yet, so...
What do you want it to be about then?
It's going to be a co-working space, right? It's going to be a co-working space that's able to be open to those who want to book, like the office for an event, or like everyone can host an event here if you want, that's fine. The space will be used also as like a private office if you wanted. There'll be, a self-serve bar, complimentary. If you want to have you and your friends co-work here, you can just book that. And it's going to be affordable. It's going to be affordable because
say what you need to.
We got to understand that, the industry is not rich at the moment, right? It still needs to be built. And there's so many people that need that opportunity or need to be given that opportunity to share like what they have to offer, because Guam is fucking talented. Well, there's just so much many people don't know about cannabis itself. And I was just lucky enough to have a high school teacher, who shared the history about cannabis before. And I wasn't smoking in high school, right? So I was only smoking afterward. The goody thing.
What is the legal age to smoke cannabis?
The legal age is 21 years old.
That's right, kids. Put it away. No more.
Yes.
Thank you. So, like, what did he tell you, and, like, what did that address in your life?
So it made me more open-minded, for sure. I was like, okay, if this teacher has the audacity to, not really in a negative connotation, right? But no one was doing it. And he's a very cool teacher. He's, like, really, really awesome. And he was teaching us that it came from, the 50s and 60s era, the stigma of cannabis. Like the first law ever was really and that was like during the 13 colonies type of, era.
Yeah.
That type of era. During that time, the first law was to grow cannabis.
Why did they need a law to grow cannabis?
Well, because they were using it for sales, right? Rope and all that stuff during the Victorian era, right? So when it became illegal, it was because of race. Yeah, the first law was really just to open it up and to grow cannabis to support the sales, the ships during that time, rope. It just has so many uses that industrially, that's why but since it covered so many areas that a lot of businesses said, I don't like this plant. I'm losing business. Do something, president.
Ew.
Type of thing. So, anyways, that type of community came about, and then racism and all that stuff. It was easier to blame, say, the Hispanics and blacks because, like, when reefer madness, right, and during that propaganda type of era, that's when the stigma, because they used media, right? They used media to influence the general population of saying, this is not good for you, this is bad for you, and it's called the devil's lettuce, and it'll make your wives, like your wives will be cheating on you with these, Hispanics and blacks. They will take them away from you if they were introduced, But really, they didn't introduce it at all, right? They didn't introduce it at all. It's always been around for years. And only maybe in the last 50 or so years has it been illegal because its own history. It was discovered actually in China.
Wow.
You know? So how could you relate like that, it being from them, when it's traveled already all its way from China to come over there? I think that's the main lesson I learned from cannabis, is because just because someone said this, like say, should I believe these politicians and what they exposed to me? And then now that I'm seeing the truth and seeing what it can do for me as a long-term consumer, right? And I'm a microdoser for sure. Cannabis allows you to go on a healing journey. Like it kind of forces you to slow down usually, or be more conscious, because I was talking or had a meeting today, and I was talking to someone, and she was saying that cannabis is non-impairing. So, no, I mean like, so I guess I knew the difference between what cannabis and alcohol can do, because I used to drink a lot. I was like enjoying my life, right? Single life, you know, no kids then, but still doing my responsibilities and stuff like that. And so alcohol, I've tested it, like in regards to like feeling like, okay, how do I feel in cannabis and how do I feel in alcohol? And actually in alcohol, you have no control. You can't snap out of it like real quick. But if you're consuming cannabis, you actually can. You could be like, if you have the intention to say, I need to get stoned. I need to be sober right now, then you can. You can still control yourself. Like, sure, it's psychoactive, but it's non-impairing, where you don't have any control over what you're currently doing. You know, it can clear out of your system, you know, and it goes, and we have receptors, right? And that's where it goes into your body. They're like going into your cells, your nutrients. That's why you can feel it all over your body, because we already have those things, right? In regards to the endocannabinoid system. And that is the second most important system. And what really has changed, I guess getting to my own personal story, I used to have polycystic ovarian syndrome. And that's when women do not have a regular period usually, especially if you're not on birth control, but you're like, became that. And I also kind of have directed that towards powder, right? Like talc, and what it can do to people or women in general. And I kind of related that with being always powdered up, you know, when you're a baby, right? And now that we have so much information, we kind of know that powder can be bad for us, right? Talc.
Oh, okay, talc, like just like baby powder.
Yeah,
like
baby powder, like Johnson.
Things that we could inhale.
Like Johnson & Johnson type of powder. Baby powder. I'm talking about baby powder. And there is this lady who was suing Johnson & Johnson because she got cancer.
Damn.
From down there. So I would think that could also be affecting like why I have PCOS in the first place, you know, because that generation did not have that educational knowledge. There was no information overload. So of course it was easy to put whatever chemicals were in there to make something that the community wanted to sell, or, you know, businesses wanted to sell to make money. And now for us millennials, we care more about what we're doing for ourselves and our lives, and to help that change different ways.
How does cannabis help you stay intentional with like the things that you have to do? Because like a lot of people think cannabis is just about like getting high.
It's not. It's really, you have to remember, like, or many people have to remember that it didn't come from that in the beginning, right? People used it for medicine. Similar as to almond, we're just trying to change the stigma on on cannabis and be like, it's a herb, it's a plant. It's not like man-made, you know, like you just grow it out of the ground like any sunflower or coconut tree. Yes, coconut tree, because they have so many multiple uses. And how many plants in the world can you tell me that has this many uses? Tell me please, other than the coconut. Tell me, what other plant?
Moringa.
Moringa? Do you
Not
think
as
it has
much.
more than 50,000?
Hell no.
Can you, yeah, you know?
I can't even name that many. Like,
Yes.
you could eat
Yeah.
them as radishes. One.
But exactly, right? Exactly. Like, what other plant in the world can you tell me has all these benefits and we don't use it? I don't understand. In college, actually, I'm pretty good at English. I had a good English class.
Mm-hmm.
And my professor wanted us to write articles on research.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him, can I do research on cannabis?
That's cool.
He allowed me to. He
That's
allowed me
badass.
to. And I guess that was what sparked more of what I could do.
Is this a different teacher than the teacher that
Yes.
told you more about cannabis?
The one who told me about like the racism and the history of cannabis in the U.S. was my high school teacher.
Dang.
He was-
Okay, and then now you're in college.
Yes, and I was in college. I asked my professor, so I kind of like wanted to, share more information on that. And that reminds me that I wanted to approach my doctor when I was pregnant about cannabis in pregnancy and try to offer up more information and research, but she totally denied me. So,
Whoa.
yeah.
So what did you do with that decision?
I just did not go with her as my doctor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you end up smoking or like doing any edibles during your pregnancy or like any of like balms?
All my kids.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with them at all. They're smart, normal kids. It's really all about the environment you hold for them.
Honestly.
And that's research-based too. There's research in that also. Yeah, building it for them though. Like at first, honestly, I wasn't building it for my kids. I was building it for my parents.
Whoa. Do your parents smoke?
No, they don't.
All these.
I have tried. I do inklings of like, this is the benefit of this, but they're traditional Filipino parents, honestly. Very strict, very, don't do this, don't do that, kind of like hoverers and, proper Filipino parents, but I have seen them suffer, I have seen them go through so many things in life and they deserve a break. And again, I wasn't building it for my kids in the beginning. I want to retire my parents. That's really a goal. So it's well, it's getting easier. It's easy.
Caring for her parents is easy.
Yes, no, making money and earning money for my parents is easy because I'm doing it for myself and not just for myself and tying it to that. And I would rather earn money for that anyways than for whatever other else reason, and it's possible. It's all possible. It's really how much do you believe in to make it happen for yourself? Will you count on yourself to make that happen? And honestly, no one is walking your journey. So of course it's going to have to be only you.
You're here for you, and
Yes.
then when you want to be present for other people, you're putting your good intention toward them.
Yes.
You're such a focused being. I love it so much. You're so fantastic.
It's crazy.
You're good crazy.
Yeah.
You're a beautiful crazy.
I'm doing my best. There's a lot of hard decisions that have to be made to, be able to do a lot of healing. But it's also how fast will you be getting up after you got hurt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And I also don't like pretending, I can't.
You're not an actor, huh?
No.
Me too.
I decided when I was like in elementary, was it elementary? Maybe it was like middle school, that I decided like I don't like pretending, so I don't want to be someone who wears a mask, right? I just want to be myself,
Oh, that's
right?
beautiful.
Yeah, and just now like, okay, making that decision and just focusing on that, like your values, finding those out. Those are important.
Did cannabis help you find a lot of the values that you use in your everyday life? Or help you with your healing journey to discover those values?
Yes, because I do not like Western medication. I don't like taking pills or anything like that. I would rather do something that I know is good for my body. Because, you know, pharmaceuticals themselves, like, say, right, I had PCOS, I was on birth control, and I hated the way I hated the way it made me feel, you know, taking pills every day, and was taking birth control for my PCOS to force my period out, you know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So,
Opposite of what your body is supposed to truly do, right? And for me, cannabis healed my PCOS. And that's how I ended up getting pregnant. Because there was a time where I was like, I don't know if I'll ever have kids because of this, but I do not want to keep feeling like this to be myself, you know, or to like, isn't it supposed to be easier? Isn't it supposed to be healthier? Like, why is it making me feel this way? And if I have to not have kids, then maybe that's just what it has to be. And then life had it where I ended up starting smoking more. You know, I was focused more on myself. I was like trying to go on my own health journey and stuff like that. Cannabis, I was smoking more, less alcohol for sure. I almost completely actually stopped drinking. Like, a lot of stoners don't even drink in general. Yeah, we're good. We like to be in control of what we're doing and being aware of what's happening because, you know, we like our peace. We like our peace.
Boundaries.
Yes, please respect it.
Respect our boundaries.
Yes. And I feel that that's just what led up to this point of like, I was seeing all the good that was happening in my life when I just focused on healing and then seeing how Canna healed my PCOS. And then I ended up getting pregnant.
Research.
Oh no, you can't overdose over Canna.
That's actually pretty cool.
There has been no deaths, 0 deaths from cannabis ever. Just cannabis alone though. Science or some researchers can not mention that they can choose not to mention certain things. Sometimes in researches, they can choose that they're testing over cannabis and alcohol consuming at the same time, right? When you're crossfaded.
Yeah.
But there are not enough, a lot of researches, but if it's unbiased, right? If it's just Canna alone, there hasn't been any deaths at all.
Damn.
Yeah.
Is this like recent history, or just like with the Western papers we have, there's just hasn't been any reports of any deaths from just smoking?
When I was in high school, that's when I found out. 0 deaths. So I think eco-integrity, how can cannabis affect our environment? When I think about eco-integrity, I really think about how cannabis can restore soil health.
What? Please tell me more.
So, cannabis has proven to improve soil for reforestation.
Holy shit. So like they plant cannabis and then they leave all the they leave the plant clippings behind, and then that helps restore?
If you grow it in a place that needs reforestation and the trees and the biology still needs to be like, what is this called? Restored after it's been devastated, planting cannabis there restores its soil health.
Ooh, that is fucking amazing.
It also absorbs like acres of it. Or 1 acre of it can replace multiple acres of trees. Its carbon intake is amazing.
Whoa.
And that's why it's also sustainable.
Holy shit. Why aren't we using it?
Exactly. We're not using it because the law.
Ugh.
We're not using it because of the law.
When are they going to work on the law?
They are working on the law. They work on the law all the time. It's a choice. It's politicians. They make the decisions, right?
Yeah.
Of what to change and what not to change.
Do you see a lot of people who use cannabis, weed lead more of a sustainable lifestyle?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, how can cannabis bring more social and economic justice to these spaces? Or in any space that you want to bring the education in?
I think it brings in all industries because it touches all industries, right? Mm-hmm. It can replace so much and it can increase circular economy on island. Recycling would be so much better. We wouldn't have to be worried about so much pollution because we can make paper products out of it or like hemp products out of it, like with the clothes and all that stuff. And if we really, truly wanted to save the environment, right? If we replace multiple things out of the plant itself, it's possible. Like even we could do hempcrete, right? There's a lot of people that I know that are doing hempcrete, and you can see them on social media as well. And that also helps the building absorb carbon as part of its makeup. So if we do like concrete itself, just concrete, it gets so hot, right? And we all know the benefits of plant-based or earth-based like cretes to help buildings because they just become neutral, carbon neutral, or they help build carbon neutrality.
And they help the building reflect less heat because it's not trapped as much.
Yes.
There's more circulation.
Yes.
The concrete has holes in it. This does not.
Yes.
Less breathable. Okay, so that also means that hemp itself, opening all these different industries, can help eradicate poverty.
Yes. So it touches on the socioeconomic aspects too, because when you think about it, it's such a huge industry around the world. Like it's the potentiality of the industry in the recreational and medical side, right? It could earn millions and millions of dollars, billions of dollars. And if Guam could implement that into our industries, we basically have another industry that we could earning more from that could also be spent on other things like helping housing, right? As we talked about earlier, it can help with housing. It could help fund educational things, like because there are kids, right, that will or may require cannabis consumption because they have seizures.
There's so many people I know with seizures.
Exactly.
Here, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It's alarmingly weird.
Yes.
Yes. I had a really exciting question. I remember you mentioned like Guam being a cannabis tourist destination.
Yes.
Can you tell me more about that?
Yes, a lot of the people in the industry right now believe in this, and of course, for sure, we can be a luxury destination, right? A luxurious. Oh my gosh, can't get in my words. It could be a destination where we don't have to rely on just hotel tourism industry, right? It can be a combination of both. And the industries of Guam are getting boring, right? And
Honestly.
We need something and we know we're straying away from that hustle culture ever since COVID. COVID opened everyone's eyes of like,
oh, we need to relax.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed my time, honestly, both good and bad. But I, in a way, enjoyed my time because I became a stay-at-home mom, right? And then I also ended up building my business during that time too. Like I had time to focus. I had a very interesting career journey, and it allowed me to be more present and build what I actually truly wanted to build. I actually invested in life coaching during that time too. So I really enjoyed my time and discovered a lot of things, about myself during that time. And that's what I chose to focus my time on instead of like, concerning myself with other people's business, just doing what I need to do and hone into who I truly am, right? And then maybe unlearn a few things. And just going into the socio-economic and eco-tourism, like it just gives us such a diverse thing that could benefit Guam alone. Like, it leads us into decolonization because it allows us an industry that can be self-sustaining, because Guam does not have we don't have exports.
We do not.
We do not have exports. We only have imports.
The military does not count.
No, it doesn't. But even if, like, we need an export, at least if not an export, we need something that is going to sustain us without having to rely on the tourism industry and capitalism and the military to be paying for everything. We have nothing for us currently that is paying for our own selves. And I think the frustration before was that, you know, Guam owed so much money from other governments, right? How could we survive on our own? And still now with the new administration, we're now seeing another thing that we don't have to be a part of if we don't want to. What industry is going to help sustain us? And cannabis is a path that I feel can lead us to that, because when you think about growing, from what I remember, I mean, trust but verify, everyone, I don't care. But we can grow the best cannabis. We can be one of the areas in the world that can grow cannabis, like with good strains if we wanted to grow our own. I mean, Saipan has their own industry, right? I know it's not a big industry back there currently, but if you have not been to Saipan and you don't or have not experienced their industry there, you're missing out.
I'm missing out.
You are missing out.
I gotta go.
Sorry, you're missing out. But they have lounges. Ooh. They have lounges that, like, allow you to smoke inside them, and vertical integration. Like, hello, what the heck are we doing over here? Not doing that. We are the stepping stone from, you know, there's no direct flights going to Saipan, basically, right? People have to come here first. But if you want to experience Canna industry, like really holistic style, where you can watch, like, it does tap onto all ages, all lives. It's such a humbling experience seeing that, you know, like, people can chillax and, like, treat it like alcohol if they wanted, but, you know, just in a sort of healthier manner, right? You don't really have to worry about a hangover in the morning or all these things. You're still functionable. You're still able to have fun.
You just fall asleep if it's the right strain.
Yes. Yeah, it depends on you too. Like, you can pick a strain and then stick to it if you wanted to, especially if it gives you the stone that you want.
Yeah, and there's just so much more to discover with the marijuana. Also, so we're calling it cannabis instead of, like, marijuana. Is it just because cannabis is, like, the right, like, plant name for it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for clarifying that with me.
Yes, because hemp and marijuana are both cannabis. They both come from the same plant. Mm-hmm. They're just different varieties of it.
Oh, that's it?
Yep.
Wow, I am uneducated.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just a different strain from that. It's like, you know, how we come from Neanderthals. You know, like, really, like, you know, there's multiple types of bananas. Hello.
Oh my gosh.
Multiple types of mango. Exactly. Anyways.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. It's a good question.
Thank you. I'm so sorry. Can you help me understand more of how cannabis can help gender equality and equity? When I say equity, I mean, like, people of different mobilities or even, like, different mental capacities, just like the variety spectrum of, like, human function alongside, like, gender equality. Is there any cases where, like, cannabis has helped those issues?
I would say in the 70s it would be probably most prominent, right, when you think about it. Like, there were so many movements back there, and even lots of consumers were queer or gay, whatever term you would like. It was part of that movement, and it's just such an eye-opening movement. I don't think I could see any other plant that would go with the same beliefs, because it's just stepping more into who you are as a person, I feel. The Western way is very quick, right? It's fast paced, like everyone says it is. But when you're so fast paced, like, or in that hustle mode, right? It doesn't feel good. I mean, I've had experience in corporate. I'm sure many of us have like experiences in corporate and seeing how fast people go, but do you really need to go that fast?
Honestly.
You know, like we're trying to unlearn and we're trying to rest now, like, because at the end of this, we're trying to just enjoy life at the end of the day, right? Does like all of this really need to be needed? Like, I definitely, it may seem that it's like the opposite, right? Like I'm earning the amount or more that I have manifested, you know? So I've used that and then trying to build something that is for the community. So if I want to build something, why can't it just be intentional instead of just doing things that people tell us to do or that, you know, shoulds and should nots? Like no one really had that before. The population wasn't that big. And cannabis has helped me realize this, because why should I believe what people tell me, you know, that I should believe in? I should decide what I believe in, you know? And it had made me realize to rest, because it was doing something so well for me personally. Like I had no judgments against it, and the people that I knew who did use it were pretty good people, you know? So one of the main things that I learned from it was that it is inclusive of all walks of life. And that's where like the Homegrown Collective falls into, right? Like cannabis is like, it includes all walks of life, no matter who, no matter how professional or how, you know, low you may seem to be or whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't discriminate upon anyone. It took only a few decades, right? Not centuries, decades. It's been around for centuries, but the stigma has been around for a few decades. And just understanding that, like, see how much the world can change from being exposed to things that are not beneficial for you or not directing you in the right path that you could be leading, right? So
I have a fresh question for you.
What's a fresh question?
I just thought of it.
That's a good one, though. What does fresh mean? You mean fresh?
A fresh question.
Yeah.
Straight from the brain powder.
Yes.
Okay, so like, just learning about like psychology from, you know, like learning on my own. Fear-based decisions supposedly help keep us safe. So that is, in theory, how just a few decades was able to transform a whole workforce, a whole culture, like a whole people into believing that cannabis was a terrible plant because they wanted to.
Yes.
So going into the question, what are some fears that you've gotten to let go of because now you have more knowledge and you're more confident about so much of your knowledge? What is some of the fear that you've learned to let go?
Man, that's a hard question. That's a deep question. That's a deep question. It's a great question, though. So there's two things that I named, right? So
Non-judgmental.
non-judgmental.
Trust but verify.
Yes, trust but verify.
That's nice.
That was right. You're like,
Just
oh
heal
yeah,
myself.
yes, trust but verify. I feel like those are the main ones, other than that it includes all walks of life. Like, why are we denying such a plant that will benefit us so much and in so many ways? I mean, 50,000 uses is up to like medical, recreational, industrial, you know, textiles, wood, like not wood, but like furniture, concrete, shirts, clothes. It replaces industries upon industries upon industries upon industries, right? And that's why politics.
That's why the white man.
Yes, and that's, you know, seeing that, right? If you get into business, you kind of learn, like, okay, you got to learn how to play the game to, you know, win it.
Honestly.
And the goal is to try to win it. But why can't you also, and to kind of go against that grain is to build businesses that are good for the community, the environment, everything, you know?
Oh, hi. You've made it so far into our episode. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Siza Asmaasi, Saina Maasi. Whew, you are amazing. So, this is a really long episode, so I wanted to leave a little cute tidbit. Something really adorable is that I have Giha Motna, Self-Determination Study for Guahan. I've had this book for like 6 years, and I have not opened it to thoroughly read it. I've looked at the good art. I'm so thankful for the visuals. I've not read it, and I'm kind of embarrassed. It's a little vulnerable to say that, but you've done so well staying this far into the episode that I thank thee. Another thank thee moment. Please support Fanachu on Patreon. We are looking to award 2 listeners for the Earth Charter International Education. Yeah. So as Dr. Deborah Ellen has paid for my education, I would like to pay that kindness forward with 2 other listeners. Whew. Okay.